Hey guys, it's Dom. We're here for round 5 of the double Ravnica rotisserie draft that is taking quite a long time because life is busy and we all have stuff to do. And we play these matches when we can. But here we're going to be watching Yuuki with a mill deck that's now up to 3-1. He's doing well in the league against Chris, who's taken over for Joe, who's 1-2 with the Gruul decks. This is a pretty big match for both players. We can take a look at see where they are in the league standings here. And a couple round 4 matches haven't been played, so everyone's played at least 3. Some people have played all 4. You can see Yuuki essentially tied for second at 3-1. Really lost to Hunter head-to-head, which is why he's third. And then Chris here in a tie for 5th. He's looking at 2, moving to a virtual tie with me at 2-2. And again, we remind you that we all play each other for 7 rounds. This is round 5. Everybody plays everyone else once, and then the top 4 players are going to advance. So we're looking at first place is a nice place to be because then you get to pick your first opponent in the playoffs. But then you got to make the top 4 to advance. So we are about to get started, I believe. Fortunately, I do not have assistance today, so you're stuck with me rambling again. And if this match is anything like Yuuki's last match against Scott, that went on for like an hour and 45 minutes or something, I may get a little loopy by the end of it. But hopefully we can keep that to a minimum. And after this, I will be playing against Scott, who's 1-3, but has been pretty close in like all of his matches. Like he easily could have 1 or 2 more wins. So I think it's going to be a tough match actually, because I'm pretty heavy on the 1-for-1 removal, and his deck can definitely present several threats at once. But we are ready to get started, and so we got the Yuuki with Mill on the top, Chris with Gruul on the bottom. And Yuuki has won the die roll, which is important in this matchup. My inclination is to say that I think the Gruul deck is going to be pretty good here, because like it puts out some beefy creatures, plays some efficient cards. I think it can should be able to get the beats on reasonably quickly. Being on the play does help Yuuki here. And we're going to see some opening hands. Yuuki has 3 lands. He's got the Doorkeeper, Undercity Informer. He's looking fine. Chris has some lands as well. Only creature is Ulash, the Hate Seed, which is not really going to do a whole lot by itself. So we'll see how this develops. A Lore Broker is the draw and the play. It looks like we're going to be getting Hunter in on commentary shortly, which is nice. It's a Gruul Signet for Chris. He's probably going to want to cast Signal the Clans next turn. So I got Ulash, the Hate Seed. So it's a 0/0. It comes into play with a counter for each other creature you control. And if you have a red and green creature, it gets 2 counters instead of 1. And then you can remove the counter to ping a creature or make a Saproling. So it's a good card when you have a flooded board, but it's certainly not the first creature you should cast. Yuuki's going to cast Doorkeeper and then play Dimir Aqueduct. So pretty solid opening for him. Chris finds a mountain. Yeah, I think all he's going to be able to do this turn is cast Signal the Clans. And I guess just go get some 4 and 5 drops and hope for the best. Ideally, he'll get a red and green card. This is actually setting up quite well here for Yuuki. And we're going to try to get Hunter in on some commentary. And, alright, so Yuuki, I think, activated Lore Broker. I looked away for a second. He's going to cast Junk Troller. It's a 06 that prevents me. I would mute that if I could. I'm very sorry. Hopefully Hunter will pick up and will stop making such noises. Hunter is unavailable. Alright, we'll try again in a minute. So we're going to have end step signal the clans here. It's going to get Savage-born Hydra. Yeah, it seems like a fun one. Giant Adaphage, that's interesting. I feel like he wants to get on the board a little sooner. Yeah, might get, well, the Rumbling Slum isn't as good now, because, yeah, Chaos M seems fine. I don't feel like you need to play stuff soon, so I'm not sure if just hitting these two huge guys is actually going to matter that much. Looks like Chaos Imps is going to be the one that was rolled. It goes to his hand. And then I believe the other two get shuffled back in. Yeah. I do like the card Chaos Imps. It's just unfortunate he can't cast it this turn. Although we notice that Yuuki right now does not have an answer to Chaos Imps. He does have the Drift of Phantasms that can block most of it for a turn. Chris draws another mountain. And Chaos Imps is a 7/6 flying trample that can't block most of the time. It's actually kind of absurd how large it is if you look at the art. It's just like these tiny little fire horses or something. But nope, this guy has 7 power. Alright, so Chris plays a land and passes. Lore Broker gets activated. Yuuki wisely using it in the end step. Had he used it any other time, Rumbling Slum could have been cast this turn. So both players discard a land. The Forest and Dimir Guild Gate are the discards. Yuuki picks up another island. So he's probably just going to be content to pass, and then Lore Broker and Doorkeeper for 2.
Howdy.
Hey, how's it going?
All right. What's the password, and why is there a password?
I don't know. It's just Yuuki, lowercase. I don't think Chris has made a game before, so he managed to get it so we can see the hands though, so that's good.
Excellent.
Chris has cast no spells aside from Gruul Signet so far, so I think that means Yuuki is winning.
I was going to say not much action on the board from the Gruul deck.
Yeah, he kept a hand that had like lands, Gruul Charm, Clan Defiance, and Ulash the Hate Seed, which is not really the best creature to cast first. Chaos Imps is pretty good though, and doesn't seem to have an immediate answer from the other side. I see no reason not to unleash this.
Usually what it's for.
Yeah. You need the trample, and it's not like it's blocking in this matchup. Another land. The Lore Brokers actually helped Chris a lot. Like, he's drawn land almost every draw step.
Oh, yeah.
Because he does not need all this land. Really, both players have just discarded a ton of lands. It made the game more interesting, if nothing else. Oh yeah, Metal the Mixture got discarded there. I guess there's no need to transmute for Glimpse when it's already in your hand.
Yeah. You can still transmute for error, right?
Yeah, or breaking. So I guess maybe.
That's what I meant. The mill card, whatever
Okay.
the split mill card is.
Yeah. I don't know. Trial and Error's been pretty good for him too.
Yeah. Since every card in Chris's hand is gold.
Yeah. Yuuki electing to leave up Doorkeeper instead of casting Codex Shredder. Well, that does mill 2 more cards this turn. So what should he cast here? He's going to Ground Assault the Doorkeeper. And then maybe cast Rumbling Sum.
That costs. Oh, that's an Aqueduct. Okay.
Yeah.
I take it back.
I got confused about that too. Like, I for some reason, I used to think Doorkeeper only cost 2 to activate. So Yuuki has 2 turns to mill 18 cards, but luckily for him, he has 10 of it covered already. Chris actually should probably keep the land here and plan to cast Clan Defiance for lethal. Because he's going to get 7 with the Chaos Imps and 1 with the Rumbling Sum. Which would, I don't know, that puts him to 5. But yeah, he only can cast it for 4 right now. I think that might have been a misstep there.
Yuuki does not have any 3-drop removal spells he could have transmuted into.
Oh, I know what I missed. He cast the Guild Mage and not the Rumbling Sum. The arts look kind of similar. So even with the land, the Clan Defiance is not lethal. Utter City Informer. This is going to be close. Chris has 8 lands in his graveyard and 5 lands in place. He still has 4 out of his last 7 cards are lands, so I actually don't think this Undercity Informer is going to get there this turn. Oh, or he could draw a Gore Clan Rampager.
I guess that's a thing.
Yeah. So Chris is presumably going to win here, but okay, so I think he had a better line where he could have won without top decking Gore Clan. So let me do math again. So Yuki's at 13. Chaos Imps is hitting for 7, so I'll put him to 6. So had he played Rumbling Sum last turn instead of the Guild Mage, that would be another one. It would put Yuki to 5. And then if he had kept a land off the Lore Broker, he could have cast Clan Defiance for 5. Am I missing anything? Oh, I'm missing that the Drift of Phantasms has flying, though. So.
Oh.
I'm missing a lot of things.
I did not know that. I did not know that either.
Of course, Clan Defiance could have killed the Drift of Phantasms. And, oh, did Yuki not block? This game has been kind of insane.
Clan Defiance for the win.
Nobody wants to win this game. I guess that'll do it. And target your Lore Broker.
Just in case.
Well, he's gonna Undercity twice, but we know it's not gonna get there. Because we have deck lists. Why did he sack his junk troller? Oh, never mind. It was. Oh, I see. He sacked the Undercity. Okay. Gruul Tur Forest. Yeah, that'll do it. Kind of feel like kind of dueling mistakes there kind of canceled each other out. Got the result that I thought we were gonna get, but not the way I thought we were gonna get it.
Did get down to 3 cards in library, so not bad.
Yeah. All right. I can pull up. I can pull up the deck list, but I think I hit record. Yeah, I'm recording and not streaming, so you can't actually see the deck list. I'm gonna pull it up for myself and try to help out. All right. So Yuuki has Duskmantle, Guildmage, Packrat, Dimir, Infiltrator, Drift. Or the Drift is in the main deck now. I think this is an old list. Lazav, Consuming Aberration, or his creatures. I think he's been boarding in the Jace basically all the time. I don't see why it would change that.
Seems like it.
Dimir, Charm, Devour Flesh. Devour Flesh doesn't seem bad. Gruul kind of goes big on one creature sometimes. You can gain a lot of life if they, sack a 5/5. Shadow of Doubt, Crypt Incursion, no. Far and Away, maybe. Grizzly Spectacle seems fine. He's got a few options.
Yeah. Like you say, going big on that Chaos Sense could have used some removal, so we've got a few options to bring in for that.
Right. And here's Chris's list. Let's has Joe's name on it. And we've got. He may just try to get lower to the ground. He'd probably bring in. He could bring in Scab Clan Mauler and Tin Street Hooligan probably. Just have more 2-drops, and then can also kill the Codex Shredder.
Burning Tree Shaman seems good.
Yeah, and then he's got the Loaming Shaman also, which undoes the mill, so that's obviously for this matchup. Maybe Rurik Thar is good. Maybe a little bit slow, but if you can get it down,
it's pretty slow.
Rubble Hulk might not be bad. Like it has the Blood Rush cost is pretty cheap. I don't hate Armed and Dangerous either. Might be able to force a bunch of things to block.
Probably not worth Naturalize. I feel like we see Codex Shredder every single game, but he doesn't actually have a lot of artifacts.
He has drawn it a lot. Yeah, I feel like it's like watching Lantern Control in Modern or something.
Yeah. Back to the game.
Yep.
Okay. All lands, 1 land.
Yeah, these both look like mulligans to me. Oh, he has two creatures, but the first spell is not till turn 4. I think this one's borderline for Chris. Yuuki already took a mulligan. He had to. Chris could probably keep this, but he's got to hope that he hits something in his first couple draw steps, or might be too slow.
I don't think I would keep Chris's.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would keep this from Yuuki either.
Yeah. Oh, on Swamp, that's not too great. Yeah, I don't think I would keep Chris's hand either, but I think it's like somewhat defensible. Whereas like Yuuki's a 7, there was absolutely no way he could keep that. But yeah, I don't think this hand's too great either. He scryed a swamp to the bottom and then drew a swamp anyway. And Burning Tree Emissary is a thing. It's just a grizzly bear, but at least you can get the clock started. That awkward Rogue's Passage. Now, you can't play Undercity Informer to block, so that's the thing.
Hey, you can't cast the new Kozilek with just swamps. Got to use that Rogue's Passage.
That is a good point. Dom re-raids a draw. If you were ever going to bluff attack It would probably be right now. Although I still don't know if you ever should bluff attack. But like I don't know if Yuuki would block. Like he probably wants that mana up with that guy. All right, so Domri plus Chris did board in Rurik Thar.
And at this rate, we'll probably get to play it.
Yeah. Yuuki really needs to hit something, like an island, or just a removal spell, or I don't know. Well, that's a blue source. Cancel and muddle the mixture is so awkward in this hand. You just can't cast spells. There's Skarg the Rage Pits. And so you can play the Deadridge Goliath now. I wonder if fighting is too risky. I wonder if he'll go for it or not. Like, we know it's safe, but there's removal spells. It looks like he is going for it, and we're going to get a mill in response. So he takes 2. Let's draw a Grizzly Spectacle, which I guess could kill the 5/5.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
By a little bit of time. Rurik Thar is coming soon, though.
Rookthar into Giant Ediphage. All right. A little surprised he kept the 7-drop in against the.
Yeah. I believe when I played Yuuki, I boarded out my Luminate Primordial and brought in a Keening Apparition despite the fact that it had no targets. So I still lost. Grizzly Spectacle with potentially sketchy mana tapping. Alright, so Deadridge goes down. And he's going to mill Mizium Mortars, Mountain.
What's he going to bluff? A Vendetta?
Yeah, I guess that's true. He doesn't have like a Murderous Cut or anything. There's no. We do know what the decks are. Skarg the Rage Pit's going to get in there for 1 extra damage. Might as well. He's got nothing else to do this turn. Domri Raid plus then missed, but I didn't see what it missed. Looks like it was Ground Assault. There's the error. Error's going to be pretty good if it counters Rurik Thar here. The problem though is that Domri is just, eating away at the card advantage here. There's Savage Born Hydra going to hand. Like if Yuuki had something in play that was relevant, he'd probably be in okay shape. But every turn he's just spending his turn to not die. And like that's certainly better than letting Rurik Thar resolve. He's gonna counter target multicolored spell. But it's like he's getting chipped at.
I hated playing against Domri as a creature light deck in Standard.
Yeah.
If you can't answer him quick and he gets that Achroma emblem, it's just unstoppable.
Yeah. Oh, Far and Away is a good draw. He really needs to hit another blue source, though. I played a lot of Domries while that card was in Standard. So Burning Tree Shaman goes to hand. It's a good answer to Codex Shredder, I guess. So you can play Burning Tree Shaman, the Signet, and the Bounce Land this turn. That seems pretty decent use of mana. Oh, he's going to just play a 1/1 Hydra instead. What do you think about that?
I feel like I would have gone for the Signet land just to build up to an Adaphage. I don't know.
So I think he's going to far and away in response. So he's going to sack the Burning Tree Shaman and bounce the Burning Tree Emissary. His names are confusing. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like you might be wasting your Hydra a little bit. I know that like he can get a bunch of counters next turn, but this way he does have a creature in play. Like if he had taken our line, he would have had no creatures in play right now. Yuuki with maximum awkward drawing another swamp.
It's not even awkward turtle because turtles live in water.
That's better than most of the jokes that I've made. Oh, we drew the Gore Clan to go with the double strike. That's pretty solid. Takeaway message for this match is that Gore Clan Rampager is a good magic card. He likely won't go for it right now because there's 6 mana up on the other side.
With Stark, he could actually just win, though.
That is true. Yeah, he could win if he goes for it right now. Domri Raid missed. All right, he does add a... Oh, he could also just add a counter and then Blood Rush. I'm not sure how much going for this makes sense, though. Oh, he's going to Scarg instead. That's pretty good, actually. Is this like, okay, we have a 2-turn clock now.
Does he wait to see if Yuuki like kills it in response and then go for the Blood Rush anyway? Probably not.
Yeah, I guess that's a decent point. Like, now, once he's taking 6, you wonder if he's just going to kill it if he can. So now I think you just go Burning Tree, Gruul Signet. He's pretty far ahead at this point. I guess he could be afraid of losing to, like, Island. Or he did draw the Island. Like, Breaking and Glimpse or something, but it doesn't seem super likely.
With Transmute, that would be possible if there were a lot more islands on the board.
That is true. I feel like Yuuki should add a mountain to his deck just so he can cast Entering, because that would entertain me. I've never actually seen this card fused. I don't see any way out of this. He is transmuting Muddle the Mixture. Maybe he can get a removal spell for the Savage Born Hydra. I don't think. Yeah, Devour Flesh would not do it.
Dimir Charm.
Oh yeah, that guy is a
He's
2/2. Okay.
he's tapped out of blue though.
Oh yeah, he can't cast Dimir Charm. Ultimate Price would not work, although I think that's in somebody else's deck anyway.
I don't see any other great 2-drops.
Yeah, I'm not coming up with much. Yeah, that's concession. He just wanted to double check and make sure, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, that was a quick match. That was a lot quicker than the last one that he played.
Oh yeah.
I don't think anybody could have possibly made it to the end of that video. Like, I was so bored by the end of it. I think I made a comment like midway through game 3. I was like, "There's no way anyone's still watching this," or something, you know.
I got to the end, but I was fast forwarding in a couple points.
Yeah. It didn't help that I was like losing it. Like it was late and I was really tired. And so like the commentary was pretty bad. I guess we can try to video call them. I want to ask about how game 1 ended. I feel like maybe they both punted. So unless I missed something.
You getting them in?
I don't have Chris's Gmail. I will work on it.
I have his school address. I thought that's what he said to use. See how that goes.
Okay. Well, I'll invite Yuuki and you can invite him. We'll see what happens.
Hello.
Hey. So, that was kind of a beating.
Oh yeah. I didn't get like the library lined up or his library lined up against me at the end of the first game, and in that second game I just got blue shafted.
Yeah, there was getting like you really could do much of anything game 2, just never drew islands.
Yeah. I was wondering if I maybe should have mulliganed a second time, but I was like, I have enough mana, I can get to Balustrade Spy, which isn't that great as my only option, but there's a lot of blue mana sources in my library, so I should be good. No, that didn't work at all.
We talked about that a little bit. I think Hunter thought you should mulligan. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't really like your stakes game 2.
The other part of me did just because we've had like a terrible track record this tournament, also was like really hesitant to go down to like 5 and then still do nothing, or then go down to 4 and then still do nothing, because we've seen that way too many times in this tournament.
But with Swamp, Cancel, Muddle the Mixture, you're already basically down cards.
Like I said, I was kind of gambling that I might be able to get blue sources since I have 10 cards in the deck that give me blue mana.
Yeah, that was not super great situation. Chris's hand actually was really slow. I thought you were gonna have time to get out of it, but it didn't work out.
Yeah, my hand was like just Burning Tree Mystery, Giant Adipage, and lands. Oh no, I think there was.
It was the 5/5.
Yeah, the Deadford's Goliath. So yeah, I just drew really well, and Dami Raid proved to be like really valuable there.
Yeah, well, like I thought what that game came down to was that like Yuuki was able to survive a long time, but like he never had a threat in play. So like he would spend his entire turn not dying or like killing whatever Chris played, and then like he was never able to get out from under that because he didn't have blue mana to cast 2 spells in 1 turn.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the end of game 1, because the end of game 1 from our perspective at least like seemed really crazy. Like I thought the person was going to win changed like 3 times in like a turn and a half or something. So yeah, I don't know. You guys have any thoughts, or did anything come up that you're like, maybe I should have done that differently?
I was counting land. I mean, I don't know if I maybe should have used Glimpsing Unthinkable earlier, and then tried to have that extra mana to mill a little bit more with name's eluding me right now. Undercity Informer.
Yeah. The thing that did you consider blocking Chaos Imps on that last turn?
I thought about that, but I was like, I still got a lot of health, so I should be fine. Which no, that was the wrong answer. I was not going to be fine, but I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go through it because it was fairly complicated. But Chris, I actually found a way that you could have won without drawing the Gore Clan Rampager. So you may go back watch the video later, but it was like you would have had to play like Rumbling Slum instead of Scarred Guildmage, and then like not discard a land at some point, and like you could have gotten Clan Defiance in there for Xaxes.
Oh yeah, that was another thing I started realizing when I was discarding lands. Was like I still actually need to cast some of these spells.
Uh-huh. The Lore Broker was fortunate for the sake of that game because you both had discarded like 4 lands to it or something.
Yeah.
We would have gone nowhere otherwise.
And what I was hoping at that very end was I was going to like sacrifice the 2 creatures, get through the rest of his library, and then tap Lore Broker, and he would lose from failure to draw.
Right. Yeah, it was. He had at some point had like 4 out of his last 6 cards were lands or something, which made the
yeah. It was definitely on that. There was 5 lands left in my 7 cards. I think I counted. Like I was like, I have no lands in hand. Let me check my graveyard. Okay, this is how many. This is how many. Okay, yeah, like.
Yeah, from what I was counting that to him like he has like 5 cards in hand. I hope some of them are land. I sincerely hope some of them are land.
Yeah.
But no, the last game ended up being a similar situation though, where it got down to the end of it, and I had mill until you mill A land or X lands or whatever, and just I've just been unfortunate in the regards where the bottom of my opponent's libraries keep being land heavy.
Yeah. It's can't really control that too much. Yeah. How'd you guys sideboard? I kind of didn't have the screen sharing right, and we didn't get a great look at it.
I brought in 3 kill spells. That was pretty much it. Took away 2 creatures and consulted Necro Sages and just put in 3 kill spells.
Yeah, for me, I boarded in Looming Shaman for recurring, like shuffle my graveyard back into my library in case it got too bad.
Yeah.
The Burning Tree Shaman because I thought if I get it out early enough, it'll hurt him for doing like Doorkeeper and Undercity Informer. And then I think there was like one more card. Oh yeah, Ruruktar. Because I was like, he plays like non-creature spells, could hurt him a lot.
If the game makes it to that stage, that's a very powerful card to have out.
Yeah. And then like I just boarded out Molten Primordial because it felt like it was a 7-drop. The Experiment 1 because if I don't get it turn 1 and I was on the play, being like turn 1 wasn't gonna be as good. And then the Hate Seed because every time I've had it in my hand, I just haven't felt like the Hate Seed was actually good.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been cast yet in the tournament, and it's certainly powerful on like a stalled board. Like if you're playing against Scott or somebody who's like trying to, or Carney, they're like playing a very grindy game or something. It seems good, but is more like control-oriented matchups. It obviously is. I was making some jokes at the beginning when that was like the only creature in your hand. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good creature. You should cast that one first. So.
Yeah, like if I had a chance to definitely reveal the deck, Hate Seed would not be in this deck.
Yeah. I think you actually can still change it one more time because you're supposed to change it between. It's weird because we're not playing the matches in order. I'll have to figure that out later. But you're supposed to get to change it between round 4 and round 5.
This was round 5.
Yeah, but it was round 4 for him because he hasn't played one of his matches yet.
Oh.
So
yeah, true.
I have to decide how to handle that. We've been so disorganized because like everyone's been so busy. We haven't been able to play very many matches really.
Yeah, I mean I'm perfectly fine with keeping the deck as it is when I submitted it to you.
But anyway, Hunter, did you have any other notes from the match? It was actually a pretty short match, even though it was a lot of action in the first game.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, let's. I'm gonna stop this recording, and then we'll get ready for if Scott's here, we'll get ready for the other game.